Welcome to the Golden Age Timeline podcast, where today we're going to delve into the enigmatic and sometimes unsettling world of hyperdimensional or otherworldly interference. I'm your host, C.M. Rieger, and today we'll be exploring the unseen forces that not only influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, but can also shape our entire reality and how we see things. This is a realm where science meets the metaphysical, where ancient wisdom and modern theories converge, and where understanding these forces becomes crucial for navigating our lives with greater awareness and resilience and strength. So in today's episode, we'll explore how these hyperdimensional forces can impact us, and more importantly, how we can protect ourselves from any malevolent intentions and utilize benevolent help. Along the way, we'll examine theories from leading experts and look at some case studies that illustrate just how pervasive these forces can be, and you'll probably recognize certain situations. So let's begin by understanding the nature of hyperdimensional or otherworldly forces. So imagine our world as a cosmic game, a chessboard where unseen entities, some benevolent, some malevolent, some neutral in their agenda, are constantly vying for influence over us. Now, this isn't a battle fought with swords or guns, but with energy and thoughts and emotions. And as Bernhard Guenther from the veilofreality.com website describes, it's a grand game where humans are often the unwitting pieces in the chess game. Also, Tom Montalk from Montalk.net says that this otherworldly realm can accelerate our spiritual growth if we utilize it properly. Now, also according to Renee in her psychic self-defense classes, which you can find at energeticsynthesis.com, these forces operate beyond our physical reality, beyond our regular five senses. So you have to use the clairs, the clairvoyance, clairaudience, that kind of thing to access them. They interact with our consciousness, our emotions, and even our DNA, shaping our experiences in subtle yet often profound ways. So the idea here is not just about the traditional concept of good and evil, but more about a complex interplay of energies that can either uplift or manipulate us, often without our conscious awareness. Now, Tom Montalk, in his research, emphasizes that these hyperdimensional entities have a deep understanding of human psychology and physiology. They know our weaknesses, our fears, our desires. They're reading our minds and exploiting these to steer us in directions that serve their agendas. But as we'll explore later, their power is not absolute. They have limitations, and we can protect ourselves. So let's look at some theories and perspectives on this unseen world. Many ancient cultures, from the shamans of indigenous tribes to the mystics of the East to the wisdom keepers of the Middle East, have long spoken of entities that exist in realms beyond the five senses. These beings are said to influence the material world, whether helping or hindering human progress. So in modern times, this idea has been explored through various lenses. Quantum physics, for example, suggests that multiple dimensions might exist, some of which could be home to entities that we can't perceive with our five senses. These dimensions might intersect with our own, creating opportunities for these hyperdimensional beings to affect us. Psychologically, Dr. Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious hints at the possibility of shared archetypes, which I've talked about on other episodes, and energies that influence all of humanity. And these could be seen as a modern interpretation of these hyperdimensional forces, energies that shape our thoughts and behaviors on a mass scale. So the archetype of the hero, or of the wizard, or of the thief, or of the beggar. Sometimes we take them on as kind of code we might download into our biocomputer and enact in the world. Now, on the more metaphysical side, the concept of energy vampires or entities feeding off human emotions, especially negative ones, is a recurring theme. The idea here is that some of these malevolent beings sustain themselves by creating fear, anger, despair, and manipulating individuals or even entire societies to generate these lower vibrational energies with the idea that they need this negative energy from humans as a kind of fuel to sustain them. So to bring these ideas to life, let's take a closer look at the TV show Evil, which is created by Robert and Michelle King. This show is quite a fascinating exploration of the intersection between science, religion, and the supernatural. And it follows a skeptical psychologist named Kristen who teams up with a priest in training named David and a science nerd technician named Ben to investigate cases of demonic possession that the church wants them to look into. Now, Evil is more than just a thriller or a horror. I don't usually like horrors, but this one's quite funny and has quite a nuanced portrayal of how what I would call hyperdimensional interference might manifest in our regular everyday lives. It doesn't definitively say what causes the various phenomenon they encounter. Like it could be scientific or psychological or supernatural or something else. Often the viewer is left to decide for themselves. But the case of the week explores common problems people face in everyday modern life. For example, miracles, a stigmata that a woman exhibits, or spontaneous healing that happens to a terminally ill patient, or someone allegedly returning from the dead, or, of course, possessions, like the kind of thing in the movie The Exorcist, or like a murderer claiming demonic influence as a way of getting off in court. And then, of course, there's the haunted houses, the shadow people, the online cult that gets people into their cult through demonic possession. And then there's this whole thing of artificial intelligence as maybe having some demonic element to it. So the show raises important questions like, is what we're seeing merely, say, mental illness, a prankster using technology, which shows up in some cases, or is there something more sinister and supernatural? It kind of reflects the mushrooming of shared global information available to humanity since the advent of the internet, some of which is real and some of which is kind of suspicious. But wise discernment these days is a must for these kinds of things. But there is a blurring of the lines between the psychological, scientific, and supernatural realms that's reflected in this TV show as people face these struggles and try to figure it out for themselves, what drives human behavior. Now, the show's portrayal of possession can be seen as a metaphor for how hyperdimensional entities might attempt to control individuals. And the characters in Evil often grapple with this ambiguity, reflecting their own challenges in identifying when we're under the influence of something beyond our control or understanding. Now, hyperdimensional interference isn't just the stuff of TV shows. It can manifest in everyday life, often in ways that are subtle, but very impactful. Let's consider a more relatable example, say a person struggling with addiction. Addiction, as Lisa Renee explains, is not just a physical or psychological condition. It can also be a gateway for malevolent, hyperdimensional forces. In fact, there's a jinn or demonic entity called Al Ghul, which got translated into English as alcohol. And some people see the drinking of alcohol as the taking into your body an entity that then kind of controls your behavior for good or bad. And often, in many cases with alcohol, it's things people regret. Now, these entities might manipulate the person's unresolved pain and desires, feeding off the emotional turmoil that addiction creates. Even plant medicine you're said to be taking on the consciousness of the plant that you're taking. And it might be a good consciousness or a bad or a neutral, but then how it interacts with you could create something altogether different. It's the same with, drinking coffee or any food that you eat. You interact with the consciousness of whatever it is you're imbibing. Now, this isn't to say that addiction isn't a real and serious issue that needs medical, psychological treatment. Rather, it's to suggest that there might be additional layers of influence at play. For example, someone who's trying to overcome an addiction to alcohol might find themselves inexplicably drawn back into old habits. Despite their best efforts, they feel this constant pull, the very thing they're trying to escape. So this could be seen as an example of hyperdimensional interference, an unseen force manipulating their thoughts and emotions to keep them trapped in a cycle of despair. It's like the consciousness of Al Ghul gives you a positive experience, a high, a feeling of inhibition and relaxation, but then it gets you in a loop where it wants you to get that again and again and again instead of trying to manifest it from within with your own ability to manifest your reality. So it keeps you from evolving as a person and can start creating the kind of emotions that you don't want, the opposite of that. But there's hope. By becoming aware of these influences and addressing the unresolved emotional issues that these entities exploit, you can begin to break free. I certainly was very into alcohol through my 20s, and then I just became very clear that I needed to let it go. And I haven't had a drink since then and don't miss it at all. And as Renee suggests, it does require kind of going inside and seeing, okay, why do I feel I need this? For me, it was, it helped me feel less shy and introverted in social situations, or it helped me feel more relaxed. But there were other ways that I could create feeling more extroverted and relaxed without using the entity Al Ghul. So here are some examples of what a psychic attack or a hyperdimensional interaction can feel like, negative or positive. Of course, the source might be something more mundane than that, so use your wise discernment. First, the dark cloud. Some highly intuitive or psychic people literally see or feel a dark cloud over their head. And it's interesting that in cartoons, that's how a bad mood is often depicted, a dark thundercloud over the head of the character. So think about that the last time you went into a negative mood, say irritation, anger, anxiety, or sadness. Now, sometimes you're just hungry or somebody cut you off in traffic, but if there's no mundane reason, consider a negative psychic attack at play. The halo, similarly, some psychics literally see or feel a white light above their head. Renaissance painters often depicted benevolent characters like angels with a halo above their head. So think about the last time you had a positive mood shift towards, say, elation, inspiration, gratitude, joy. But consider that positive psychic interactions are at play, a higher self upgrade or download to help you in a tough situation. Fuzziness. Some people get headaches, dizziness, fatigue, like a spacey feeling. They might notice, in some cases, a metallic quality to the intervention. Certainly when they're dealing with technology, that can be true. It's like the attack has drained your energy and you can't concentrate anymore. It's those times when you might do something stupid, like forget your keys or lose an important item or bonk your head on the cupboard door or something. And it might happen before you're about to do something important in terms of your life purpose, your soul mission, as a way to trick you to go off track or to challenge your resolve. Then the opposite is like clear-headedness. Some people get a sudden clarity of mind, of purpose, of connection to a higher source. So you may notice a nurturing quality to the intervention. It's like the energy has refilled you and you can concentrate better than ever. It may happen as you're about to do something important, again, in terms of life purpose or soul mission, as a way to support you or help you work through an obstacle so that you're doing your life's work. Then there's sleep interference. You might get nightmares or those stressful dreams where you're trying to get somewhere, but things keep getting in your way. Or in general, you just have insomnia. Now, during insomnia, you might feel like tightly wound, like you want to fidget, or even have restless leg syndrome where the muscles in your legs twitch, keeping you awake. In some cases, this might be a negative psychic attack, or it can be an energy upgrade where your physical body is learning to hold a higher frequency. You'll have to discern for yourself. But these days, especially during the season of mass ascension that we're in right now, some people are raising their consciousness so high they collide with the frequency fence around the planet. So you can consider it a negative attack, but for a positive end, breaking through the lower frequencies to the higher, taking your body with you, which is perhaps the nature of this unique time in history of humanity. Now that we've explored what hyperdimensional interference is and how it might manifest, let's turn our attention to something equally important, which is how to raise your immunity, like your energetic immunity, which of course also helps your physical immunity. In previous episodes, we talked about 5 psychic ways to protect yourself. Here, we'll broaden that to include other, more practical strategies. So Tom Montalk and Lisa Renee at Energetic Synthesis offers practical strategies that can help utilize the benevolent influences and lessen the malevolent ones. So one is awareness. That's the first and most crucial step. You need to recognize when you're being influenced by something outside of yourself. Now, this topic is considered fringe or sometimes a conspiracy or weird by some, but perhaps for the very reason that once you can protect yourself, those who benefit from your ignorance are cut off from their fuel. So keep that in mind whenever a source tells you information like this is invalid. Use your own wise discernment, of course. Take what's useful, leave the rest. But you will have to rise above the societal conditioning to see it. But just start by paying attention to your thoughts and emotions, especially when they seem out of character. For example, when you suddenly feel agitated, angry, or fearful without a clear reason, that might be a sign of hyperdimensional interference. Boundary setting. So just as you would protect your physical space from intruders, you need to protect your energetic space. You can do this through visualization techniques, as we've talked about in other episodes, such as imagining a protective bubble of light around you, or any variety of methods of clearing, purifying, shielding. There are many available. Try different ones on. I'm sure you can find tutorials on YouTube and see what feels or seems right to you. The important thing to know is that you can say no to harmful influences, both seen and unseen. Think of it like applying assertive communication methods to unseen forces or hyperdimensionals working through others. Just like you can teach a child to not take candy from strangers, you can teach yourself not to let malevolent hyperdimensional forces mess with you. You have 1,000 times more power than they do, and as soon as you realize that, and they realize you know that, they'll go bother someone else. There's an interesting stat about, say, bullies and criminals who prey on people. Cunning ones study their intended victim first and only attack if the person seems unable or unwilling to protect themselves. Even if the person looked weaker, if they had a fierce, protective, or defensive energy about them, the bully would move on to someone else. Sometimes you just need to fake it until you make it, imagining yourself strong, able to protect yourself. So present yourself that way, and they'll probably back off. That said, this is not just about avoiding negative people or situations. It's about consciously deciding what energies you allow into your life, saying no when necessary, saying yes when appropriate. For example, one coaching client of mine used to lose her voice, like having coughing, phlegm, and vocal pain before she had a speaking engagement or interview. For years, she thought, it's just simple nervousness, but when we looked at it from the perspective of, hyperdimensional interference, she got an idea. She guessed it was like a gremlin trying to sabotage her life purpose. She decided to instruct it to leave her alone, like actually talking to it like a little gremlin, and literally said out loud, "I cast you out. You no longer are allowed to sabotage me." She actually saw a boundary around her neck, around her voice, and saw herself casting that little gremlin out, and after that, she rarely experienced the issue ever again. 3 is self-reflection. So hyperdimensional entities often exploit our unresolved unconscious issues. This means that the more unresolved emotional baggage you carry, the more vulnerable you are. Like in the case of my client, her mother's criticism of her whenever she spoke out loud, shared her opinions, was like a childhood wound in her subconscious, kind of below her awareness. So when she realized that and brought herself into the present moment as an adult, whose mother was long gone out of her life, literally she died years ago and had no influence, it gave her more power to set boundaries. So regular self-reflection and inner work can help you identify and heal those issues so they can't be exploited. Whether it's through getting coaching, support groups, meditation, inspirational education, journaling, or whatever works for you. The goal is to close the energetic doors or holes in your aura, as some people call them, that these entities might use to get in there and influence you. So one quick exercise is to ask your higher self in writing, in your journal, if there is any hyperdimensional interference, say regarding a specific issue, like my client was referring to, what it is and how to release it. And often you'll be surprised by the insights you get. So number 4 is wise discernment. In a world filled with information, disinformation, misinformation, it's crucial to cultivate a sense of wise discernment and healthy skepticism, quite frankly. This doesn't mean being cynical, but it means kind of questioning everything, especially the narratives that seem designed to provoke fear or anger, whether that's in the news, social media, or people around you. Ask yourself, who benefits from me experiencing these emotions? Are they being used to manipulate me? So it's just about maintaining critical thinking. That way you can avoid falling into traps that these hyperdimensional forces use. For example, I had an acquaintance who regularly talked about the news that he read and complained about whatever was going on to whoever would listen. You know, in certain social groups, it would get everyone going, right? Talking about these issues in the world and getting more and more of the people there upset and then feeling hopeless and drained. And I think that's what the malevolent forces want you to feel. So don't play into their hands. If there's something you can do to, take action and mitigate issues, well, great, take action. If not, just remember that the news item may come and go with no ill effects. Like I remember back in the 90s, I used to live right on the coast. I remember getting upset to read that the ocean levels would rise and that all the coastal properties wouldn't survive it. 30 years later, the tide still rises in the exact same place. So why waste your precious life force energy on things that may never happen? So number 5 is a passive response is consent. So not taking action can be dangerous. So when you don't speak up or assert your boundaries, you may inadvertently allow interference to continue. This applies to both your inner life, your personal life, and the larger societal context. So being vocal about your boundaries, whether it's telling a friend that you don't want to engage in gossip or standing up against a societal issue that feels wrong to you, your voice is a powerful tool for protection, even within yourself. Like sometimes hyperdimensional interference shows up as inner judgment, dissing yourself for not being good enough somehow. Now that's never the true you. That's always a gremlin, a voice you took on from, say, a parent or from the media unconsciously. And it still gets to live rent-free in your head, but only as long as you allow it. You can refuse to listen. I had this client who was stunning and wore clothes and makeup that totally enhanced her beauty. Yet whenever she looked in the mirror, all she saw was the ugly nose. Her mother hated the family nose, as she called it. And so my client adopted that mind virus passed down through the women of the family. So you don't need to engage in these games with the inner voices. You can assert your boundaries by saying, well, thanks for sharing, but I'm not interested in listening to your point of view. I can decide how I feel about my nose. After a while, if you don't take the bait, it will wither away due to lack of attention. If that gremlin doesn't get you upset, it's not getting its fuel. Now, you can use the same tactic with others in your life, those you might call energy vampires. You don't need to be rude, but if someone in your life is often trying to pull you into senseless drama, you can just stay neutral and refuse to escalate it. They will likely give up after a while because there's no payoff. So it's important to understand that we are not helpless pawns. While malevolent forces might have a deep understanding of how to manipulate us, they are not invisible. One of their key weaknesses is their lack of creativity. These entities often rely on the same patterns and tactics, making them predictable to those who are aware. Tom Montalk points out that because these forces lack the ability to create, they often resort to imitation and deception. This means that while they might appear powerful, their influence can be countered with knowledge, awareness, and this will to resist, this boundary setting. I remember in the old comics about vampire stories, the only way they can get you is if you let them enter your home. Sure, they trick you into believing they're benevolent to get invited in, but once you can spot the signs and you say no, or get them to leave, there's nothing they can do. Understanding the rules of the game give you the power to play it better. Also, while malevolent forces seek to manipulate, there are also benevolent forces at play. These are the energies that guide us, protect us, and help us grow. There's always both. By aligning ourselves with these positive energies through feeling gratitude, through feeling compassion, kindness, love, over complaining, blaming, or irritation, this can help. Like choosing to have compassion for ourselves rather than self-judgment. That's how we tip the scales in our favor. So this cosmic game or chessboard is not just a battleground, it's also a place of potential where we can grow as a person, as a soul, where we can co-create a better reality. So this journey into exploring hyperdimensional, otherworldly interference isn't just about identifying threats and warding them off, it's about empowerment, raising your frequency. It's like going to the gym and getting heavier barbells to lift. It makes you stronger. So knowledge is power. Understanding these unseen forces is the first step in reclaiming your sovereignty, your freedom. And they operate in certain lower frequencies, and they need to keep you in those lower frequencies to use your energy. If you move out of their range, not only can they not get you, they can't even see you. Lisa Renee emphasizes the importance of reconnecting with the knowledge that ancient cultures once held. These societies understood the interplay between the physical and the spiritual, the seen and the unseen. But our modern world often remains stuck, limited in 3D thinking, focused solely on what can be measured and quantified. But to truly protect ourselves, we need to expand our awareness and question those kind of narratives we've been taught that they don't exist. This doesn't mean rejecting science or rationality, but integrating them with this deeper understanding of the spiritual and energetic realms. And by doing so, we can better navigate the challenges posed by this hyperdimensional interference. So, to summarize, hyperdimensional forces are real and they shape our reality in ways that we are only beginning to understand. These forces can be both malevolent and benevolent, influence our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, but we're not helpless. We're victims of these energies. By gaining knowledge, setting boundaries, practicing self-reflection, maintaining healthy, wise discernment, releasing limiting beliefs, healing wounds, raising our frequency, we can protect ourselves from negative influences and align with positive ones. Remember, we are not mere pawns in the cosmic chess game. We are conscious co-creators of our reality. By becoming aware of these forces and learning how to navigate them, we can control our lives. And in this way, we contribute to the collective awakening of humanity. So, thanks for joining me on this journey into the unseen world. I hope today has empowered you to look beyond the surface of reality and question the forces that shape our lives. Do subscribe if you'd like more content like this. And until next time, this is the Golden Age Timeline Podcast. Bye for now.